Welcome to day 3, lower body. We're gonna be doing some Bulgarian split squats. So we got the bench set up here, as you can see. 2 dumbbells in hand. Be elevating one foot upwards, kicking the other one out in front of you. So it's kind of almost gonna be like a lunge. Me bringing that knee downwards and then pushing up with one leg. So as you can tell, this is gonna be a unilateral exercise, really focusing on one leg at a time here. But you're gonna feel a little bit of stretch in the other leg that's elevated as you bring down, just like so. Really a quad and glute dominated exercise. So if you really want to make those quads and those glutes fire up, really work them hard, then this is definitely an exercise to do it. Once you're done, you're gonna switch legs, come back. Oh yeah, go all the way down. Try to get that full range of motion too. Bring that knee down and press up. Really try to keep that rigid torso, vertical, neutral chin. Oh yeah. Ooh. There we go. Already feel that burn. Starting off this workout right, Bulgarian split squats. And if you do have one side that's a bit more stronger than the other, of course you can always go back to the weaker side and bust out a couple more reps to really try to fix any of those asymmetrical problems. We're a big advocate about unilateral exercise because of that, because you can really pay close attention to any of those stronger or weaker points there. Oh yeah. We are on to exercise number 2, and it's gonna be the dumbbell swings. Now, these are basically just kettlebell swings, but using a dumbbell. And as you can tell, my stance right now is a little wider than hip width, and this is to accommodate the dumbbell that is going to be between the thighs there. And dumbbell's just placed here. So you're gonna squat down, pick it up, and this is kind of the starting position, and you're just gonna kind of dip the hips back and thrust forward. It's gonna start creating that little bit of that momentum, and you're gonna let that weight swing up with the arms. You can tell I'm dipping forward, flexing in the hips, and then extending. A slight bend in the knees there. And the dumbbell is just placed right between the thighs, as you can tell. And as I bend forward, you'll see coming down this way, I'm not flexing in the back, I'm keeping my back rigid and straight. And I'm just flexing in the hips there while keeping that straight back. So it almost ends in like a Romanian deadlift in a way. You're gonna feel that tension in the hamstrings, and then you're gonna be thrusting forward using that glute power, that hip power, getting into this position here, and the momentum is gonna carry that dumbbell up. And then as it comes down, you're gonna decelerate by flexing in the hips, catching it between your thighs basically, and use that momentum again to reach the top position there. So it is gonna be the glutes, hamstrings, a little bit in the shoulders, lower back. So quite a bit going on in this one, and it's an excellent exercise to really build that strength and power in those glutes. Now, a common mistake that is used in this exercise is that squatting down too much. So you're here and you're bending a lot in the knees, and you're not really creating a lot of momentum with the extension of the hips. So you can bend in those knees a little bit, but you got to remember it's a lot of that extension there rather than just the actual squat itself. So you get people to see the mistake of kind of squatting down, and once you get in that position and trying to swing, the pressure all of a sudden is put on those knees, and that could eventually kind of cause some injuries in the future. So really push those hips back, slight bend in the knees, but you really want to focus on that extension through there. And when you come down, again, it's like that Romanian deadlift here, where it's just a little bend in the knees, but then also stationary, really working in the flexion of the hip, pushing the butt back, and then extend from that position there. So great exercise. Okay, so we got some farmer squats supersetted with farmer walks, and as you can tell, I'm in the standing position and my feet are just about hip width apart, and that's gonna help create a little bit of space so the dumbbells can move up and down as I squat. And we're gonna keep as much as an upright torso as you can in this position. You're gonna bring yourself down, squat, and then back up. So we're gonna do 10 reps of that, and we're gonna superset it immediately right onto the farmer walks. So here we go. Okay, here we go. Go right into the walks, nice and slow. And now this is, of course, testing A little bit of the legs, also the grip, some of the traps too, the back. Nice and slow. And walk all the way down to one end, and we're gonna walk back. Oh yeah. Now, of course, the heavier you go, the harder this is, but doing it immediately after squats is gonna make it a bit more difficult. Oh. Woo. Yep, that definitely tests the grip too. Feel it. Oh yeah. Got some single leg RDLs. Now this is really concentrating on that hamstring. It's pretty much like an isolation for the hamstrings. There's not a lot of movement other than the hip joint. The knee is gonna be slightly bent during this exercise. So if you're familiar with the Romanian deadlifts, it's a lot of use in hinging in the hips, the flexion and extension in there. And so now we are just doing a unilateral exercise, which is gonna be focusing on one side and then the next. We just got the dumbbell here, ready. Gonna have the toes pointed straight, and then you're gonna be hinging in the hip. Get that nice stretch in the hamstring while kicking that other foot back or the other leg back to help balance you, and then raise up to the top position. So get that nice stretch position and then extend. Now these are gonna focus a lot on the stability and balance of the ankle there too, because when you're getting this position, sometimes it's hard and you feel a lot unbalanced there. So you can use your arm, stretch it out, it can help balance you a little bit, and also picking a position or a point on the floor to look at, and that's gonna help you quite a bit too to kind of keep that balance. There we go. Now a couple of things you gotta remember in this one is once you get down to this position, you wanna keep that nice rigid and straight torso. You don't wanna flex in the spine and you don't wanna reach too much, because the more you reach, okay man, it's cool. Yeah, you're good. Oh, go ahead. No, good man, thank you. So the more you reach, the more it's gonna break your form though. So try to keep that nice tight shoulder, and that way it's gonna kind of help you keep that positioning. So the straight back, the kind of contracted, or I should say stabilized and flexed shoulder to keep that position there. So there's kind of a lot going on in this exercise, but of course, doing it without weight is gonna help you get the proper position and then slowly work up in weight so that you feel comfortable with it and you feel a little bit more balanced too. Whew, it's a good one. All right, we're on to calves. Can't forget calves, the lower leg here. And as you can tell, we just have the dumbbells supported on the knees. And this one's really simple. It's just a seated calf raise, really focusing on that plantar flexion here, pushing the balls of your feet, really getting that squeeze in the calves here. And of course, the weight that is placed onto your thighs here is gonna have that downward force. Put a bit more work into those calves there. Go nice and slow, get that nice eccentric contraction, bring it all the way to the top, really squeeze, and back down, just like so. And now you can elevate your feet too if you'd like. If you have a little piece of board, wood, if you have a little bench, or just anything to elevate the balls of your feet so that way you can get a little bit more stretch on the downward position, but this still works too. So if you don't, you can just have it flat on the floor and really concentrate on that full plantar flexion and that squeeze at the top. And this is a very simple exercise, as you can see, but you know, going heavy with it, going slow with it, really gets that burn in there and that contraction in those calves, and it feels good. Oh. Okay. We're gonna just take a little break here and rest up, get ready for the next set. Oh yeah. All right, we're flying out of this exercise, or I should say workout, with some Supermans, and we're gonna have a little fun with it and get a little elevation here on the bench. And you're gonna put your hands straight above you, or straight out in front of you, like your Superman flying through the air, and just arching up in the back down. Arch and down is really focusing on that lower back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I feel like the Man of Steel. Oh. That was good. Superman is definitely an excellent exercise for that lower back, the rectus spinae muscles. And doing on an elevation here, you can dip down a little bit lower. So you feel like your range of motion is a bit higher than it normally is just on the floor. But there we go. That concludes this workout. Thanks for joining. We got one more day in this phase, going back to upper body, and then we're complete with phase 3. So hopefully join me for day 4 of phase 3. Stay buff. Nice.